Atlanta News First starts now.
I couldn't see nothing. It was like white.
Multiple tornado warnings overnight.
My son come bursting in the room to wake me up screaming, tornado, tornado.
The house just jumped up.
We're talking EF2 tornadoes and stronger.
The wind was pushing the door back open. The wind was just that strong.
They're hugging the I-20 corridor. That's where we're seeing the strongest thunderstorms.
On a scale of 1 to 10, this is a good 8.
3 or 4 trees in houses.
Stuff was just flying by.
4,000 homes without power.
And it's supposed to get a little chilly tonight.
Well, the work to restore power and cleanup is on right now in Rockdale County.
Atlanta News First Don Shipman is live with the First Alert breaking news tracker in Conyers along McDaniel Mill Road near Klondike Road. What's the situation there, Don?
Well, the situation is that there is no power along this street right here. And you can see this is the staging area for the power crews, for the fire department, and for police. The road is all blocked off in this area. I'm going to show you right here, too. I don't know if you can make it out in our live pictures here, but there's also a large power line that is draped across the road. And these crews are being forced to get up onto the sidewalk to get around it. Just up the street here is a house that has a tree on top of it, so there is some damage in this area as well. And this area right here is just off of I-20, and this is the area where that confirmed tornado touched down in this vicinity. Once it gets light out, we're going to see more of the damage most likely, because I've been walking around in this area and I've seen a number of power poles that have snapped off, some tree limbs that are down, and some trees altogether that are down. And during the overnight, we actually talked with a man who lives just up the street here at the Lake St. James Apartments. And he tells us what it was like when they lost power. Those winds were whipping through.
I thought it was my unit first. So I'm like, I opened the window and I was seeing that. I couldn't see nothing. It was like white. It was just like rainy, but it was like really strong.
And I did just check with Georgia Power. So as far as where they are with the outages right now, they're making some progress, because within the last 30 minutes, they're down to 2,700 homes without power. That's down from 3,300 just 30 minutes ago. And again, once daylight hits, we're going to be able to assess the damage a lot more clearly, and we'll have more images for you and the impact. We'll be able to show you that as we move throughout the morning here. We're live here in Conyers. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
We also have Atlanta News First Rebecca Schramm, who is live where this has really been the spot during the overnight hours because of all the damage that's been out there. Rebecca, what are you seeing?
Well, Rodney, I'm in one of those spots where the power is out, and I want to show you what we're seeing here. We are on Briarwood Circle, and just take a look at this. You can see the root ball of one tree that fell over, and then look at that. Another tree fell on top of this house. This is Briarwood Circle, which is not far from McDaniel Mill Road. And Don hit on this a little bit. Just getting around in this area is very tricky this morning. It's completely dark in this pocket outside of Conyers in Rockdale County. No lights, no nothing. So as you're driving down the road, you stumble upon a tree that fell, or a big limb that fell, or power lines down, branches everywhere. It is super dangerous to be out and about right now in this area because of that tornado that came through overnight. Of course, as we've mentioned, the National Weather Service will send representatives out this morning to verify that. But our meteorologists saw and knew that the tornado was on the ground overnight. Around midnight. So that's what the folks are waking up to this morning. We are continuing to look at pockets and areas of Conyers and Rockdale County that had some damage. So as we learn more, we will certainly let you know what we're seeing here on the ground. We're live near Conyers in Rockdale County. Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Adam, you spoke with a group that's helping to feed families tonight.
That's right. We were just around the corner from the fire station, and I will tell you, I spoke with a lot of people today. This cleanup process is going to take a lot of work, a lot of time. You see outside of one home here, they've got the chipper out, and they've also cut down a lot of the trees and cut them up into pieces after they fell on this property and at this home. So a lot of work going on. The good news, though, is that in this community, everyone really has come together and the neighborhood is now looking out for one another.
Hi, so we brought you guys food.
In the midst of tragedy, there is hope. Neighbors looking out for neighbors who just lost everything.
Seems like a lot of the shingles and the roofing came off. Because of that, a lot of leaking went to the house. Our back porch, practically half of it was torn down.
Alejandro Mendez lives on Briarwood Road, where an EF2 tornado destroyed nearly everything in its path overnight.
It was really crazy, really never experienced anything like this.
Mendez is one of only a few who managed to walk through piles of debris to the nearby fire station to grab a hot meal.
And you go take that to your car, you come back and I'll have some chips ready for you, okay? Okay, thank you.
But due to the extensive storm damage and road closures, volunteers packed up the meals and went door to door.
We brought you guys chicken biscuits, snacks, water.
We are very much encouraging them to stay where they are. People moving around is slowing the progress of us getting to the areas that we need to clear the road.
Thank you so much.
And for now, most people seem to be grateful to receive a hot meal and a hug.
Can I have a hug, you guys? Oh, no. Be safe.
Thank you.
Be safe.
We appreciate that.
Now, the cleanup here is expected to continue into the early evening hours and then resume once again tomorrow. You see that work going on right now. Families telling me this evening they are just grateful that in all of this, no one was hurt. Carly?
The sound of sawing all day Wednesday as the post-storm cleanup was in full swing. Overnight, the National Weather Service confirms an EF2 tornado charged through Conyers.
Is there a tornado? Make sure your kids are safe.
Winds whipping up to 115 miles per hour.
It was frightening, to say the least.
Paul Gates lives on McDaniel Mill Road.
I said, oh, God, it's raining pretty good. And then the wind picked up, and I looked out the window, and it just seemed like stuff was just flying by.
He came outside in the morning to see his trees down, his siding gone, and a shutter barely hanging on.
I wasn't planning on spending my time doing this.
Drone video shared with Atlanta News First from roofing specialist Christopher James shows a path of destruction as the storm barreled through. Power was down in nearly a third of Rockdale County. And back on the ground, trees pulled out of the earth.
We came across this house here, and it has a 150-year-old oak tree on it that's fell over, the white oak, really heavy and big.
John Thomas is with All Tree Services of Atlanta. They were out there all day and will be back again on Thursday.
I've been just about to every hurricane there's been in the past 4 years and to the majority of the tornadoes, and this one here is about as bad as Griffin was, but not as big.
Other major damage seen on McCalla Road and over on Briarwood Circle.
We have spoken to a few people where they were in their bedroom, the tree fell in the room next to them, or it fell and it didn't go all the way through the house. And so we ended up getting fortunate in some of those cases.
And the good news is, despite the damage, there was no loss of life.
You know, I have to be grateful for small things.